Hi, this is James, and I'm here with your Oracle Outlook for the week starting August the 29th, 2016. And the deck that's going to be assisting me for this week's reading is the Universal Weight Tarot, because this is the week for a tarot reading, because you know that I switch between Tarot, Lenormand, and Angel cards. So this week we're going to be using Tarot. And I like this deck in light of the fact that I became a certified angel card reader at the top of the year, and while I have many decks in my collection since becoming an angel card reader, I found myself gravitating back to this deck, so I have a newfound appreciation for it. This particular variation of the Rider-Waite deck is the Universal Weight, and one of the reasons why I like this deck so much is because of the way it's colored. You will find that many Rider-Waite decks out in the marketplace are colored differently. This one is colored by Mary Hanson Roberts, who is the creator of the Hanson Roberts Tarot, and she colored it with colored pencil, so it has a softer, more pastel kind of feel and energy to it. So another reason why I like this deck so much is because the angels really like communicating to me through this particular deck. So while it is a tarot reading, I am not opposed to the energy of the angels coming in and offering a message, so that may happen this week. So again, this is the Universal Weight Tarot. So now I have the deck in my hand. So what I do for these general readings is that I shuffle the deck with the intention of asking for information that's going to be in our best and highest good, that's going to help us move through this week. And as I'm doing that, I'm also going to invite you, as I'm talking about the cards, whatever thoughts, feelings, impressions you get about the cards, honor those, because I believe that they're coming to you to make the reading more personal for you. So I'm feeling like I need to shuffle one more time. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the deck into three, and if you notice I'm cutting it into three towards the camera, and that's because I'm putting the energy and the focus towards you. So now I'm going to pull the top three cards from the deck. I'm not going to look at them yet, I'm going to turn them over one at a time, but the first card is going to represent what we might need to know or consider for the beginning of the week, as well as if a specific theme shows up, then this would be what that energy originated in. So that's the first card. Second card is going to be what we might need to know or consider for the middle of the week, as well as if we go with the idea that the first card can also be an origin card, then this card is about guidance or advice that Tarot is offering you. And so while I'm saying that, that is Tarot's role. And my role as a reader is that Tarot and I offer information. It is for your consideration, so anytime it's considered guidance or advice, you have the power of choice and free will choice to either accept the advice and the guidance being given or not. So that is the second card. Third card will be how the week rounds out. If we go with the idea like the first card's the beginning of the week and the second card is in the middle of the week, then this will be how the week rounds out, or a situation or experience that we have at the end of the week. It could also be, if we go with the idea that the first card's the origin and the second card is guidance or advice, then this would be considered a most likely outcome. So now when I read cards and we're talking about a future event, for me the future is not written in stone. Again, going with the idea of free will choices, you have the right to alter the path that you're on. The most likely outcome card would suggest that if you stay on the path that you're on, because this is considered like an energy snapshot, if you will, and that if you stay on the path that you're on and you don't alter it in any way, which means that you don't decide to do something differently or you take a different course of action, that is the most likely outcome. So this can or may not happen based on your power of choice and free will. Because I read Tarot again with the idea like it's meant to be empowering, not disempowering, so the idea of something being written in stone or something that's fated to happen can be somewhat disempowering. Again, that is just my personal opinion. Other tarot readers might see that differently. That is just my belief. So I'm going with that. So that is the third card. So now what we'll do is we'll take a look at each card at a time. So for the beginning of the week, we have the Ace of Swords, so I like this. So aces represent something new, something starting in your life, a new period. Swords in particular can represent a lifestyle change. So for me, this card can represent moving into an experience at the beginning of the week that either is about clarity, you gain clarity. For me, this card is about clarity. It's about receiving an answer or solution to a problem you've been experiencing. So I'm seeing that as a possibility. It could also be to a triumph, a victory, or a success. This is a very positive card when it comes up. So in that regard, it could be, moving into something in the beginning of the week, which is a form of success for you. Now, again, Ace is about new things beginning. So it could be a new idea comes in. I'm seeing the idea of getting the next big idea, or, the light bulb goes off, so to speak, and you have this grand idea for something new. So I'm seeing that, and you're being asked to move that idea along. So whatever the idea is, or whatever the information you receive is, it's not just about having the head knowledge of it, it's about what are you going to do with it, because swords is also a suit of action. So I'm seeing that. If you are a spiritual seeker, this card can represent, again, receiving information, but you receive it in a way like this. Like if you happen to meditate, I meditate 30 minutes every day. For me, when this card comes up, it can represent getting an idea or getting some sort of insight through meditation. And the reason being is there is a crown on the card, and the sword is coming up through the crown. So for me, that is a pun for either one or two things. A crowning achievement, and that again goes to the success aspect of the card. But it could also be that you receive information through your crown chakra. And so the crown chakra is actually at the crown of your head. No mistake there. That, pun is intended. So it's about paying attention to the downloads. I call those energetic downloads. So it's paying attention to the download of information that you get. But it's also designed to enlighten you, to make you more aware, but also it's probably guidance to take action with something. Because the suit of swords, since I mentioned angels before, the suit of swords for me is connected to Archangel Michael, who is the chief angel of providing us with clarity. Most typically he's known for, watching over us and protecting us, like the grand guardian angel, if you will, and that's true. But I also look for Archangel Michael to give us clarity, as well as providing us with the next action step to take. So pay attention to any downloads you get, or any aha moments, or any revelations that just seem to come out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden they just pop into your mind. Pay attention to those, because that could be a message from Spirit and your angels, and for you to take action on it. If you don't understand it in the moment, you could ask the question, ask Spirit and the angels, okay, what do I do with this newfound information? What do I do with this information that you're giving me? So that's the Ace of Swords. For me, the Ace of Swords can also represent a job or career change. So if you're watching this and you're contemplating the idea of a job or career change, this might be the go-ahead that you need, or that you will get the information that's going to confirm that without a shadow of a doubt, that that is what you're supposed to be doing in the energy that you're supposed to be moving into. Now, this card does carry with it the idea or the experience of moving into something new, and it may be a little bit bumpy, or maybe a little bit rocky at the start. That is okay. Don't come to the speed bump and say, oh, throw your hands up and go, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, because that would be a mistake. The Ace of Swords is saying, no matter what the experience is, every new experience sometimes has its little speed bumps, and you're just being asked to kind of navigate through the speed bumps. So I'm seeing that as the Ace of Swords for the beginning of the week. Very positive card. Moving to the middle of the week, we have, and I had a feeling this card was going to show up. This is why I like using this deck. So I'm going to hold the card up. The King of Swords. So now we have two cards from the same suit. So swords, again, this could be a week where we're being challenged with decision making and problem solving. Typically the suit of swords is known for problems and challenges and troubles, but I like to put a positive, more empowering spin on it. So for me, it's about situations showing up, and they may appear to be challenging, but it's about what you put your focus on. If you just focus on the challenge, you focus on it and look at it as a problem, it will be just that. But if you have a reframe around your thinking, you could say, okay, this is getting me to kind of exercise my ability to problem solve, and make decisions. And so what am I going to do with that? Because that could be the energy of the opportunities, the experiences coming your way. Okay, so the thing that I love about this card is that, again, going with the crown. So the crown here, and I didn't notice this until after I became a certified angel card reader, which is very interesting. But the king is wearing a crown, and the crown has an angel embedded in it. So again, that's the idea. And since it's on the crown, and the crown is on the king's head, it's again, pay attention to the messages or the guidance that you're getting from your angels this week, and then ask the question, what do I do with that guidance? Again, swords being Archangel Michael, you could ask Archangel Michael specifically, but if you could just generally ask your angels, what do you want me to do with this information? So I'm seeing that, and then taking action on it. Now the King of Swords, again, for me, could be mastering one's thinking. So we could be having experiences this week that are going to challenge us to have a rethink, getting us to look at what we think about things and how can we reframe those thoughts, because I'm a big believer in thought creates experience. And so it could be like, if you're having a particular challenge, if you're having a particular experience, you might want to look at the thoughts that you're having around that, because that's energy that's participating in that. But you can also be doing a reframe around that. The King of Swords for me can represent being on a mission. I always see this as a man on a mission. So this week you could be asking yourself, maybe the bigger question is like, what are you here to do? Archangel Michael works with us with our divine life mission and our divine life purpose. So it could be a matter of you really getting in touch with that, or you really wanting to explore that, you wanting to move more into whatever that expression is for you. So I'm seeing that as a possibility here. The other thing with the King of Swords, and it could be based on the energy of the Ace of Swords and this new idea, this new concept, this new theory that you're excited about, jazzed about, wanting to explore more. Sometimes the King of Swords can come up when we are faced with judgment or criticism around that. So be mindful of who you share that new idea with or that new concept with too, because you may be hit with judgment and criticism. And if that is, it's twofold. Number one, the idea here could be, it's about getting you to look at the other person who's doing the judging and the criticizing, and tell yourself that it's not about you in that moment, and you're being shown something about that person. It could also be like you're being asked to look at the ways that you are judgmental and you are critical, to help you work beyond that. Again, King of Swords is all about mastery of your thinking. It's about helping you get that under control, help you be self-empowered to change that. But it puts the responsibility in your hands too. Like, what are you going to do with that? You're seeing that this is an aspect of yourself. And then what are you going to do to help work through that aspect? It could also be too, like, instead of being judgmental and critical, I'm just getting to see like the reframe around that. Sometimes this card can be judgment, but sound judgment. It's about like using the ability of discernment. So it could be about discerning things. This card can be about like facing the judge. Like if this was like a legal situation, for lack of a better analogy. The judge, he takes into account all the evidence. He takes into account the facts and evidence, and then he makes a ruling or a decision based on the facts. So it could be like you need to make a decision and base that solely on the facts that are being presented to you at the time. Again, if you are moving into a new spiritual idea, spiritual concept, you may be faced with the judgment and criticism of other people and feeling the need to stand and defend that belief system. Here's the thing about that. If you're feeling the need to defend it, ask yourself the hard question, why? It could just be a matter of you believe something one way, the other person believes something another way, and you just leave it at that. I'm a big believer in when we have to defend our position, or we wind up having a debate about something, both people lose. Because what really is going on is the energy of somebody wants to be right, and so in order for that to happen, somebody has to be made wrong. And there are no winners in that kind of dynamic. So again, keep that in mind with the King of Swords for the middle of the week. Moving to the end of the week, we have the Eight of Swords. This is very unusual when I do a reading and I have all the cards from the same suit. Okay, so the Eight of Swords, and I'll hold the card up so you can see it. So the image here is a woman who is tied up, and she's got 8 swords around her, and she's blindfolded. Sometimes this card can represent wanting to move forward. So we had the Ace of Swords at the beginning of the week, wanting to move forward, but not knowing how to do that. And the fact that she's blindfolded means that I can't see the answer, or I can't see beyond that. So again, this is a perfect energy to call in Archangel Michael to help, remove the blinders. I was about to say cut the blinders, but remove the blinders so you can see clearly. And then also as well as what the next step would be for you to move forward. So Archangel Michael is the big overriding angelic energy that wants to work with us this week. Again, if the angel aspect of the reading is too woo-woo for you, then it could just be a matter of you really exercising your ability to problem solve and your ability to make decisions with sound judgment and discernment this week. So I'm seeing that. Now the other thing here about the Eight of Swords, it could be about you, if the Ace of Swords at the beginning of the week is about a lifestyle change, let's say, then the Eight of Swords is giving you a heads up as to being shown the things that are limiting or restricting you to keep you from moving forward. So this card can come up sometimes when maybe we've been inactive, or there may be a situation in which we're not supposed to take any action on, giving the idea here with your hands being tied. So again, it could be a matter of, maybe you're not supposed to do something with the situation, or that you've been inactive for some time now, that you're being encouraged to move beyond that. So I'm seeing that. It could be, again, be mindful of situations in which you are limiting yourself, restricting yourself. You could come into a situation, especially involving communication or communication issues, in which that you may be getting entangled in something that's not in your best and highest good, going with the idea that she's tied up. Don't let yourself get caught up in something. Don't let yourself get entangled in something that is only going to keep you stuck. And then once you get embroiled in it, you can't get out of it. So I'm seeing that. The idea here is like, if you're in a situation and you're having the idea or thought that there is no way out of it, then that is a limiting belief system. That's a limiting thought, and you're being asked to move beyond that. The 8 in numerology is all about power. So it could be about you kind of like reclaiming your personal power, because maybe you've given your power away to a situation, to a person, to an experience that has now kept you stuck, and you're believing that there's nothing you can do about it. So this is a week for you to maybe work on reclaiming your sense of personal power. But it will happen in the situations in which you feel like you're stuck, or there's no way out, or something that you feel is bound to happen, or something that you feel is creating interference in you moving forward. Because it's really not about you not moving forward, it's about you tackling that thing that you think is interfering with that, because that's keeping you stuck. So I'm going to leave it there and say I'm going to end the reading on that note. So this has been the Oracle Outlook for the week of August 29th, 2016. This has been your tarot card reading for that week. And I'm Jameson Mitchell, and I'm signing off. And as I sign off, I want to wish you a wonderful day. I hope you have a tarot-tastic week. And until we get together in this space for the next video, take care.